Hello, everyone. Welcome to the table. Welcome to the grown folks table tonight. You guys ready to pull up to the table and have some grown folks conversation?
Let's
I
do
am
it. Let's
so
do it.
ready.
All right, all right. Well, first of all, I want to start off by introducing ourselves for those of you that are pulling up to the table for the very first time. My name is Elisha V. Cash, and I am the founder and president of the National Women's Empowerment Ministry. I am also the host of the annual Red Dress Brunch and the author of the Little Red Networking book.
Hey, everybody, I'm Joyce Littell. I am the brand manager of News and Talk 1380 WAOK, and I am the host of The Quiet Storm 10 to 1 every night, Monday through Thursday, on Atlantis V103. How y'all doing?
Hello, and I'm Dolores Grizzle, the immediate past chapter president of the 100 Black Women Decatur DeKalb chapter.
And I'm Vicki B. Turner, and I am the chairman of the board for the DeKalb County Board of Education. My husband and I have a community initiative called DeKalb Cultural Exchange, where we bring relevant issues to our community that impact our quality of lives. I'm excited to be here tonight.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Dr. Olivia Bakar. I am, as I always say, a woman of many hats. I am founder and owner of Sugar Plum Events. I'm also a baker. Sugar Plum Sweets, shout out to Sugar Plum Sweets. I also host the Annual Girlfriends Brunch every year on New Year's Day. I am a reverend. I am an ordained reverend, and I am on the staff at Trinity AME Church. So I am a woman that does many things. Welcome to the table.
Right. Yes, welcome to the table. We're so excited to be pulling up. We have so much to talk about tonight, especially it's just a great time for women. And most importantly, it's even a great time for African American women. I have been gloating for the past 2 years. I think we have all felt very empowered by the movement of African American women, backing it up to Black Girls Magic and what that did for us with that whole theme of Black Girl Magic. And but then there's this other pivot where there's some Black ceilings that we're still trying to surpass. And I say Black ceilings. I do know that I'm saying Black ceilings and not glass ceilings, ladies, because for many years, African American women weren't making it to the top in corporate America. And so we were doing great with some managerial roles, but we were looking forward to, making it to some C-suite positions and things like that. And so Black women were missing from the C-suite organizations, and we were looking forward to making sure that we stand at the top of our game, pretty much. And so tell me, Joyce, tell me, what do you think about the different roles that we're starting to see African American women? I mean, the headlines itself has been phenomenal about the young lady who is now the CEO of Walgreens.
Make you want to walk in there now.
Yeah.
Okay. When things go down like that, it makes you just want to walk in.
Yes.
Honestly, I wasn't a big Walgreens shopper, and and because of that, I will find my way there more often to support, to support her efforts and the efforts of all women who are making strides, in this world of Black ceilings being broke, and so I'm excited about what is to come, from our first Madam Vice President to now, this woman who became CEO of Walgreens, and all the other aspirations that women have and are doing right now. I think the world is starting to recognize, and excuse my grammatical way of saying this, but I gotta say it this way so it can resonate. We ain't playing,
Right.
We ain't, mama, don't call and correct me because I know her, but we ain't playing. And I don't know, even in my, small position, but a position that I'm very proud of in being brand manager, I think it has just given me an even more of a charge to make things happen, in my entertainment industry, in the radio industry. So I'm very excited, and it's about, I'll start to say one of them bad words, but it's about time
Right.
that this is going down. We have been hard workers for years. We have deserved the space and the positions for years. And I'm just so glad that things are finally changing and turning around. Now, do we have still a long way to go? Yes, we do. But I'm happy about some of the progresses that we have made.
Yes.
I'm gonna pitch. Go ahead, Libby.
I was gonna say, George, I think you said it perfectly. You put that, you just put that thing together.
Okay.
Because
But
this is a great time. I mean, it's a time for us to shine. It's a time for us to know that this is now our new normal. This is not a phase. This is not just something that's going to be trending and then is going to go away. This is something that has completely changed not only the culture, but have changed the complete path of African American women. And I think now we are seeing in a very serious light. And the other thing, I think we now understand those who came before us, what it took for them to get us to this point. Like Joyce said, we have a long way to go. We have a lot more to do. But I think we are now turning the whole culture of it. Now people can actually look at an African American woman with a bun or braids or whatever, afro, a natural style. We can look at them and see beyond that, and we can still see that these women they can function, they're intelligent, they're smart, they can go to HBCU and they can still do well in life. Just because they went to the HBCU does not mean they have to, have a scarlet letter on them. There were times when even persons would be in corporate America and they would not want to list that on their resume. They would list the graduate school on the resume. But now we're proud, we're happy that we're getting, not that we have not been proud of HBCUs, but we're proud of the product that's coming out of HBCUs. And HBCUs are now understanding how important it is to have that high quality education and to turn out this type of product of people. And what happens now is that money flows there. Money goes to places where we can sit people on boards. So when you have more HBCU folks sitting on certain folk boards, you get more money going to HBCUs. So the higher we go in the corporate space, from the political scene, all of the education, the higher we go in all of these things, I think we continue to break down. I said at our annual Girlfriends Brunch this year, our theme was no more ceilings. Like there aren't any ceilings. There's no ceilings we're breaking. We're not going through. They're gone. The sky is the limit for us to do whatever it is that we want to do. And just imagine what's going to happen with little girls when they get our ages. Just imagine what they're going to see in the world of African. They would never be able to say, I didn't know an African American woman can be vice president. It's going to be the normal. It's going to be the normal for them to see African American women in these spaces. And I just think it's amazing.
I think we all are almost, you want to pinch yourself and make sure you're not in a dream to live in this time. And I do feel while it's a trying time all around the country, I believe that's a nugget of hope for us to have a woman to occupy the highest office as a vice president, a woman of color. And for our girls, I know what I celebrate. And she is, I think we might have said this recently, she's got culturally, she is she's part Asian, I think, part African American. So she's mixed descent.
Jamaican.
And I don't just celebrate her being a woman, but I celebrate the parts of her that are like me. I do. And it's not to devalue or diminish the other part of who she is, but that's what I celebrate because that makes me see the possibilities for our children and our children's children. And so I believe had my mom been alive or my grandmother, they would never have even believed this day. And Joyce, I was thinking about your mom and how old she might be, but just to live to see the days of even a Black president and a Black woman as a vice president. So I celebrate that, but I think it's incumbent upon us. There's a vision now. There's a vision in front of our girls, and we need to make sure it's cultivated. We need to make sure it's watered. We need to make sure that they see not themselves apart from her, but to see themselves as the possibility that they could be her, if not more. Because we're focusing on the president, the vice president, but so many barriers have been broken by women in corporate America.
Yeah.
So many, I mean, in even Congress and even in political office, so many women, you know, they are walking in and saying, I am woman, hear me roar. And so, you know, I did have a message about that a few years ago.
Yes, you did.
Oh, shameless plug.
But I'm just excited about girl power right now on our Board of Education. And we're going through a lot of challenges, but I'm excited about 5 women. There are 5 women on our board. Women take charge. Women kick butt. Women take names. Women get the job done.
Take names.
So I'm looking forward to that collaboration with women. No egos in the room. It's women, and we're nurturers, and we care about issues, and we mother causes. So I'm excited about the days that are in front of us.
I too am excited for Miss Brewer because I know it was not easy for her in the workplace trying to come up. We know that women, we were getting a lot of insensitive comments when you're at certain levels. And she had to make sure that she had all her survival skills. She had to make sure she had a sponsor, I am sure, because when you climbing that ladder, you got to have a mentor, you got to have a sponsor. You can't just be at it alone. And I'm sure in those meetings, probably being the only woman in the room, definitely when you talk about Black woman in the room, when they don't even want to hear you, they don't hear what you're saying, or you could possibly say or give the same thing somebody else just said, but they didn't take it from you, or it was your idea, but somebody else said it's their idea. So I'm sure it was very difficult for her. And I am just excited because we know that Walgreens is falling behind CVS, and they had to do something. This is a time of diversity. This is a time of inequity. So I'm sure a lot of these companies are trying to make sure that they are reaching out and they are putting Black women at the top. This is huge. She's been on a fast track for a long time, you know, heading up Sam's. So she's this is not her first rodeo. So I think she's gonna be a powerhouse. And I'm with Joyce. We're gonna go to Walgreens. But there's another young lady out there doing her thing, and it's Jennifer King. I'm a sports fan, so I love that Jennifer King with Washington is the first Black coach. So we don't want to not talk about her because she's 36 years old. She's been an intern for years. And so this past year, so this is huge for her, and it's huge for the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, but and even with the Nobel Peace Prize, the recent announcement of Stacey Abrams and the Black Lives Matters, and they are all nominated this year, and I mean, it's just a whole host of things, a whole lot of things that we can throw out accolades and accomplishments when it comes to women and what we're willing and able to do to make strides in this community. I mean, all 5 of us that's sitting on this, live call right now. I mean, it's a great thing to show that women can work together, that women can have conversation about any and everything, and it's not rolling the necks and having all kinds of personal issues until Pastor E say something. She just might say something. you know? But I mean, it's so cool to it's so cool to see how women are just coming together on all platforms and on all levels, and like I said, even in my workplace, how we women in the entertainment business are pulling it together and working to support each other in our efforts of success. So I mean, it's just a cool thing being a sister right about now.
Well, that's a good way to segue into my next question. But first, before I do that, I like the fact that Libby, you brought up HBCUs because I am sporting my pretend HBCU tonight that inspired me. For those of you that can see, that says Hillman. So I didn't get to go to a real HBCU, but in my imagination, I attended Hillman, and so Hillman was my first introduction to a historically Black university, and what it meant to see people look like me want to become a doctor or want to become a lawyer and want to run for any organization or any position that they possibly could be a part of. But is this a trend for Black women, or are we here to stay? Because I don't want to be a part of a trend where, because at one point I felt like I was a token girl at this one particular job because they had a quota that they wanted to fill, and so now that Black women are on the map, are we targets to fill quotas, or is it a trend, or are we here to stay?
I think you all are here to stay, because when you're talking about a quota, and you may be talking about years back when I started in corporate America, when they needed quotas then to fill corporate America. But I don't see that now. And when we're talking about the HBCU schools, Lord knows I paid enough money, so I don't care what anyone says. Those are the best universities you can go to, the best education, and the women are the strongest. So I will beat you down when you want to talk about the HBCU school. Selma College, all right. Yes, I think you all are here to stay. I think the women now are stronger. They just super, and just what you want. You all know what you want. You know how to achieve it. I think we're just kind of some steps back from when we started out. Say if we had all these tools, resources, and just all this education that's before you all back in those days, we would just be so far ahead. But I think you all have mastered it. I think you'll be here. I just love seeing the young people and what you all are doing, and you just have the platforms, and you all don't have a problem with engaging and supporting one another. We weren't like that in my years growing up. We were too afraid that you're going to do more than me. You're going to reach that you're going to get that position before I do. So we were not that supportive of each other. And I think that's why Black women were so behind.
Well, if you're watching tonight, go ahead and drop us a note in the chat and let us know if we overlooked anyone that we should throw kudos to for breaking the black ceiling tonight, or if you have any conversation, anything you would like to add to the conversation, drop it in the chat. Go ahead, Vicki. I think you were getting ready to say something.
You know what? I think of our scripture. I think it was David, dealing with David when he was facing the giant Goliath. But the question was asked, and I think it's so relevant: what will you do with what's in your hand? What's in your hand? I think even Moses was asked that. What's in your hand? He had a rod, a staff. He saw it. He saw it with limitations, but God saw it for what it could do. And I think we are going to be asked that question, ladies. Black women will be asked that question. Women will, what is in our hand? Vice President Harris said this. Her mom, I mean, these words penetrate me. You may be the first, but you make sure you're not the last. We all must embody that. We may be the first, but we need to make sure, and I could borrow a word or two from Joyce, damn sure. That we're not the last. I know Joyce was thinking it, but
I was thinking it.
Make sure we're not the last. So what do? We reach back. We must, and bring somebody along with us. As Dolores says, no competition, but it's if we want to stay. because you do know that the forces that try to hold us back, you do know they're still in the land. So let's not be dismissive. So it's incumbent that we have arrived, but you got to reach back and keep people coming up with you. And it's not just one sister. You got to bring them up, bring little girls. It didn't matter the color. Bring them up to where we are so that they can even go beyond us. It's incumbent. And I didn't get to go to a HBCU, Elisha, and I didn't think about making, putting a fake shirt on. I didn't think the first time I saw one, I heard of one was on Cosby, because that's what they called the show. It was Hillman College.
Yeah, that's what my shirt says, Hillman.
so like she went. But
yes, Hillman. This is my HBCU. Hillman was my HBCU.
But I have that. I do have that regret that I didn't get that, because what I've noticed about women and even men that have been to HBCUs, there's such a bonding among the people.
Ma'am.
There's a family, there's a camaraderie, there's a sense of pride with people who have been to HBCUs. I've seen it, and I missed that. I didn't get that. I went to a predominantly white school, and I missed that.
Yeah. Those women are very confident. And I would tell you this, you can bring 3 women in the room, you can pick out the women from Spelman.
I will agree with you. I really will agree with you.
Yes, I will too. And I think that's a good segue into our next question here that's on the table. Dr. I hope I'm not messing up her name, Dr. Kazmika Corbett. She's the Black scientist from North Carolina that was led in the science for the COVID-19 vaccination. Mm-hmm. And so since we're celebrating Black history and Black women, I thought it not robbery not to make mention of her, especially right now where the vaccination is playing such a great part in what's happening in our society on a daily basis. I mean, tell me, what are your feelings about vaccination? Are you planning to vaccinate or not? Oh, Vicki is chuckling.
Well, I will go on since I have been vaccinated.
Me too.
And it was not a problem. Mm-hmm. I was just sore for just one day. I felt good the next day, and I've been feeling good. So it's been a week for me now. Mm-hmm. So I have to go one more time on the 19th. Mm-hmm. But I would say in the beginning, when this whole thing first started and they first started talking about rolling out the vaccine, I was a little apprehensive. I'll be honest about that. I was. But then too, you got to put on your intelligent hat and you got to think this thing through, and you just got to be intelligent about it and get educated about it. Mm-hmm. And I think when you do that, that will kind of relieve, some of your anxieties. Yeah. And so, and then you discuss it as a family. We did that. So my husband and I, we went. My daughter was able to get us taken care of, because it was difficult trying to get an appointment. So it's good to know people, and I'll just say that. And so we've had it done, and we just was excited about it. So now I feel comfortable. If I have to go and be around my grandchildren, we're still doing the mask and we're still doing all that and trying to be safe. So we'll continue to do that. But I'm on board with it. But I thought it was the most hilarious thing, and I think you all may have seen it too. People were trying to understand why Tyler Perry got a vaccine. He was 50, I don't know his age, 53, something like that. But I do know they're trying to put people in front of you to make you feel comfortable about doing it. People that I guess people trust. Well, they could have called me. I would have been one of those people. I could have gotten out there and said, hey. But I know, because I know my pastor, when we do our Facebook Live, he would talk about it. So I've been hearing different people. And the fact I think that our president and first vice president, and forgive me, I always say first vice president because that's the term we use in our organization, but it's our vice president. Mm-hmm. Right. When they were on national television, and to hopefully that people would see that they were getting it and it was okay. So that's just my little bit on it, but I'm fine. We're fine. And also my sister as well, she went with us too that day. Mm-hmm. And I feel good about it.
Mm-hmm. I think people are apprehensive because of the history within the Black community, and our culture has shown a very negative response to the vaccine and to vaccines, and so that history of that is still resonating, and so yes, education is key, but we're people that you have to show us to prove it to us. We're kind of built like that at this point for many reasons. stuff been passed down.
Valid reasons. Valid.
They're valid reasons.
They're valid.
They're
I know
valid.
exactly what you're talking about.
You know, so I mean, so people are kind of, you know, leery of it, and I think that's why we're seeing the celebrities out front. We're seeing important people out front. That's why you're seeing them having to put a statement out about Hank Aaron, that he didn't die from the vaccine. All of these different things they're having to do because our community, we're going to always jump to conclusions. We will, and you know, based off, you know, history and everything else. So, you know, we have not been treated fairly in no space or realm. We have been mistreated. And so these things linger when you talk about going to get vaccinated. My thing is, I'm not against the vaccine. I think what my apprehension is the same thing with the flu vaccine. But this one just a little bit different. When you have something having another mutation so quickly, that scares me. I think people need to vaccinate, especially here is my theory about it. My theory is this: anytime that something like this can attack the respiratory system and you can actually die, it's not like the flu. You can actually die very, very, very quickly. Anytime it's going to take 2 vaccinations, you have to know that it's serious. You cannot think that this is just play if it's going to require the strength of 2 vaccinations. So that's why I'm in support of it. I do understand people who want to wait it out, to do the wait and see concept, because although we get vaccinated, we still got to social distance. We still got to wear masks. We still got to wash our hands. We still got to operate in all those ways. We can't just go and be around a bunch of people. They're not going to open back up, you know, restaurants that we can sit elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder. So we still have to do the work to get the numbers down. But I think that we can see the spread of the virus go down if more people are vaccinated. My thing is, my questions are, what happens, you know, if I get it again? Can I get it again? How does that work? With the vaccination, is it that I won't have the same kind of symptoms, or would it, you know, take down some of the symptoms? Because I have asthma, so I worry about the respiratory aspect of it.
You know what? One of the things, Libby, I was thinking about, and I've always struggled. I even struggled with my kids getting immunizations. I did. It hit me real strong with Victoria. I didn't do it as much with the boys, and I worked in the medical field back then, and I just had this feeling about immunizations, but I eventually succumbed and I got them done. But so I have a little struggle. I struggle with the flu vaccine. I really do, and every other year. But this time I looked at it a little bit different. I have a dear friend that works for the company that owns Grady Health Systems, and she's on the corporate echelon of Grady, the structure. And she said, "Look, she has a compromised immune system, right?" And she said, "This is a no-brainer for me." And you know how you'll hear something and it resonates with you. It just gets your attention. She said it was either, I looked at it like this: it's a ventilator or vaccine. It's a no-brainer for me. That's how she put it. She said, because I've been able to see what it looks like on the ventilator, and I see what that thing, and we know how many people died, never came off the ventilator in the beginning when this thing first manifested itself. And my husband, after I told him about it, and he looked at me, he said, "Schedule the appointment. We're going." And so, like Dolores, we went 2 weeks ago and we got ours done. And I had the soreness. The only outcome was soreness of the arm. But let me say this, and I don't mean to be super spiritual, but then I do. Don't you pray when you go to the restaurant to eat your food? You've been raised to do that. And why do you pray? You want to make sure you're not getting any poison stuff in your food. I raise my children. You better pray. You don't know what you're getting, right? Don't we pray when we get in our car and we're dealing with traffic and we're asking God to encamp the angels around us and keep us safe in all of our ways? So you telling me we don't pray when we take medicine? I do. See, I believe in prayer and pills, prayer and shots. I do. And I've always believed
Pray past the pills.
I have no aversion to medicine. I have no aversion to taking pills or medicine if it's needed to make me better. So I got on the other side of it, and I've heard all the stories, but I do believe it comes down to a personal decision. And we respect what people, if that's your decision and it is your choice. I just want to live a productive life, and I don't want to be disabled. And we know that this disease, this virus is affecting our community in record numbers in a disproportionate way. And so I want to get on the other side of it. But is my faith totally in the vaccine? Hell to the no. It just isn't.
If anything can take my smell and taste, I'm scared.
Yeah, hello.
These are you cannot look at any other virus where this happens.
Yeah.
This thing affects the nerves and membranes to where you lose and my nephew had it. Mm-hmm. So you lose your sense of taste and smell. Anytime something like that happens, this is not lightweight.
Right.
So it comes down to a personal decision. I 100% agree, but I also feel about it like I feel like the mask. We at some point we in this together. Mm-hmm. At some point, it can't be a selfish thought. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, if this, like I said, if we're talking about something, we know pneumonia can kill and flu can too, not in the same way. Mm-hmm. I get it. Anything that requires 2 vaccines, that kind of strength, and takes your smell and taste. I think that's where you need to hang your hat. Then the ventilator.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and here it is. The new strand, they're going to have to work on a vaccine for that or do some kind of adjustment. But the new strand doesn't go to people who may have pre-existing conditions. Mm-hmm. There are people who are perfectly healthy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So don't play around. So we have to make some decisions because we're not dealing with anything we've ever dealt with before. Mm-hmm. And we're not dealing with anything that is lightweight enough that you can catch a cold and you can go get some Tamiflu, whatever it is, and take that for the doctor, or go 7 days on some chicken noodle soup and some ginger ale, Red Rock, children.
Red Rock.
Well, but even more importantly than that, we're a year in now. So, I mean, we're coming up on our year mark of us being COVID. And you're talking about COVID fatigue, people are exhausted of this whole situation from not only the people that have died from it, but the lifestyle that we had to readjust. I mean, I was a very privileged person, I could get up and go if I want to, and travel if I want to, and go to the movies. I go to the movies.
I know that's right.
You know you want to go there. You want to go to the
AMC, and then I built a brand new one right down from Moreland. I had my eye on it.
Yeah.
Let's not even mention virtual school.
Mine was concerts. Mine was concerts. Yeah.
I told that
like concerts. Yes, Joy.
Yeah.
Yes, Joy.
Vaccination, and I'm sending you to school.
Yeah, I miss being in the entertainment business and having the privilege of going to any concert at any time on somebody else's dime. Now, I miss that. I love live entertainment, and I love music of all genres, and I just miss that piece of socialization that I've had and shared for the better part of my career.
COVID messed up date night too.
Messed up a lot of stuff, and I was very apprehensive, too, about the shot. But I went to my doctor a couple of weeks ago, and I said, when they come to my age group, should I take the shot? She said, you need to be the first one there. And she said, I've taken it. She said, that's our biggest piece of defense right now. And she sort of kind of said the same things that all of you have said about the ventilation or the
Yes.
vaccination. And with few of my underlining things, she said, which one you want? I'm like, vaccination. So so hopefully, I'm still around, when it comes to my age group, and are able to take the vaccination, because I too want to live and one day be able to go back to a concert.
Yeah.
I just want to go to a concert.
Oh boy.
And these teachers need to get it. This is something that's bothering me, that the teachers are in phase 1B instead of being part of phase
Yeah.
1A. They should have been a part, excuse me, a part of phase 1A instead of being a part of phase 1B. And y'all just decided to put them in phase 1B. Because that wasn't it at first. It was going to be phase 1. They were going to vaccinate the nursing homes, the healthcare workers, persons who was of the senior age, and then everybody else. Remember that's what they were saying. Now they're having to do the phase 1A, and the phase 1B is when they're going to do the teachers. Now the problem is we have not had enough vaccines to get to phase 1B, because what has happened is the ones that have to be placed in the freezer, if people miss their appointment, they have to throw them away. They have to throw them away. So there's a lot of vaccines that have been thrown away because people didn't make the appointment for whatever reason. So you have that problem. Here is why they're trying to get those in that only need a certain amount of refrigeration. So that's the issue that you have too on top of that. And then of course, we don't have enough foot patrol to get them out like we need to get them out. And that's why they were talking about having, military get involved. You can't have these states all in charge of this. This needs to be a universal thing, I believe, from a federal standpoint, instead of being state by state, because that means each state is thinking about the strategy of how to distribute this vaccine. We should have one manual that everybody should be going by, that manual, and that way we can bring in other teams to get this done. And I think they're going to have to change a lot of things, but they said that more people have been vaccinated. This came out today than the people with that who have died of COVID.
But it would be our community, because
Yeah.
we know that the vaccine is coming out, but it's not coming to our communities. And I think that's a big issue.
Yeah.
But we are the number one who's tracking this disease.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, one of the things I also want to hear about, I know I heard you mentioned date night, Livy, about, okay, COVID has messed up date night. So we know Valentine is coming around, and we got to be creative in this space.
Can't even get your slow dancing. What's going on?
I don't know what's going on.
Come on. George, you know how they get to singing live, somebody down there by the stage.
Hello.
See, last year I was at the concert with Babyface, and so at the Fox. So I don't know what me and the Boo gonna do this year. And so, but I did. So what you all have planned? Anybody have any trending thoughts they want to share with us, or anything creative or innovative that they're doing? All I got is these magnetic lashes that
Honey, we got to put a table in the bubble. You got to put a table in a bubble, honey.
And some at-home stuff,
Yes.
Well, I just had my anniversary. So.
Oh,
What did you
had my anniversary February 1st. So, February 14th is around the corner. I need some energy.
Well, you got 13 days. You got
I've been busy. I've been very busy, but I'm going to do something different because I think Valentine's Day, of course, that's the love day, and usually everybody likes to get out in the afternoon. But I thought we would get out early in the morning, and we'd do an early breakfast downtown at one of those fabulous restaurants, and then I think we'll come back, relax. We drink some wine and
yes, come on, work it up.
Avery Sunshine and Joyce Passion and poetry.
Yes, come on now.
Jazz music.
Yes. Yes,
to
I
get
got it
you
for you.
all in the mood,
Yes, I'm doing too.
baby.
So don't do anything before then, so
I
you won't
won't
be
do anything, girl, not before AB Sunshine comes on.
tired. Yeah.
What Penny Harris says, she's gonna be at home club complete with strobe light and all.
I
Just
know
us.
that's Miss Penny. She knows how to have a
Penny,
good
you
time.
better do it, honey. And
Yeah.
I
You
know
better
you
do
better
it.
do it.
Miss Penny, you can go to Passion and Poetry too in the
That's right. That's right.
living
I mean,
Yes.
you know what? That was one of the main reasons why I was talked into putting it on, is because so many people aren't, going out to the
Yeah.
restaurants and doing these romantic things, and so I have done it years before, and I was told, Joyce, we need love. We need to
Yeah.
show that expression, right now, just about love and togetherness, and so that's what the show is about. The show is going to be about love, and the entertainment, and the poets are just on point with it.
Yes.
Not only Avery Sunshine, but a gentleman by the name of Frank McCone. He's out of California, and if you close your eyes, he'll sound like Donny Hathaway,
Way.
Stevie,
Yes.
Stevie Wonder, all wrapped up into one. And so I just can't wait to present this on Valentine's evening.
Yes.
And so Miss Dolores, don't do nothing, so you and Mr. Lewis can be ready.
Oh,
If
and I
she,
forgot about Hank Stewart. I
if
forgot
she
about
getting up,
Hank.
if the
Uh,
Lord's getting up as
I
early
forgot about Hank Stewart.
Yeah, Hank Stewart is on there. I have
Yes.
some, poets out of Chicago,
Oh, he's
poets
so
out of
good.
Charlotte. Of course, Atlanta truly represents with its poets. That is just going to bring some words that will just resonate in your heart. So
I'm,
I hope that you
I'm gonna
all
come,
are.
Joyce. I'm
Well,
gonna come. I'll be
All
there.
you
But
got to be, you just got to create your own
yes, you do.
romantic
You
space.
do.
Let me
And
go
Wear
on and
something
find
cute.
Mister.
Vicky, Vicky, wear
Let me
something
find
cute.
Mister. Let me
Yeah.
tell us
find
how we can
Mister,
find
honey.
tickets or how we can find out more
Oh,
about
tickets on eventbrite.com/passion and poetry. And if you follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, I post every day where you can get those tickets. And here's the cool thing, because it's virtual, if you got friends and family all over the country can actually log on. I mean, you'll get a link on Valentine's, and click on that link. You can put it on the big screen, or you can have it right there on your phone right there. So however you want to view it, it's there, but it's eventbrite.com/passion and poetry.
I gotta get this in, y'all. If Dolores get up as early as she say, now we're in the same age group, and they go down and have a leisure breakfast at a fabulous restaurant, come back and drink a couple of sips of wine. You gotta make sure you stay woke, sister. You gotta make sure you are even up. I know that story very well.
it. That's funny.
You wake
Well,
up in the morning, you say, what did anything happen?
you know what? I did not with you guys. Help us.
This is good information. That you got to listen to wisdom. Now, hold on.
Right, I'm listening.
Listen
Don't
to
get
this
up
wisdom.
too early. Don't get up too early, Dolores. In fact,
Hello.
time yourself, maybe make lunch. Okay, you start about 12. By the time Joyce come on, we're
Baby, I will be on round 2.
Okay, then. See, that's why your evening shut down, Dolores. You gotta spread this out. You gotta be like peanut butter, honey. You got to spread, child. You gotta spread this out, honey. You got this stuff too close together. You got to spread it out.
Dolores says she's a pro.
Now I wouldn't know because I'm a saved, hallelujah, single one. Glory unto God.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
Now, Joyce, don't be surprised if I tell you I got a mister just for the passion and poetry.
Oh,
all right.
Hey, mister, wherever you at.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll be right back here on next Thursday or the following Thursday.
Yes.
Please go out and subscribe to all of our podcast channels. We're on all the major podcast channels. And also subscribe to our Facebook page if you haven't already. Have a good night, and thank you so much for joining the Grown Folks Table podcast.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for